It was the night of July 10th, 2014. Kaylee Budd was behind the wheel, driving her parents, Sharon and Randy, on their long trip from Ohio to New York City, where they planned to see a Broadway show. Randy, who had been driving earlier, was taking a break in the back seat, while Sharon sat in the passenger seat. By the time they reached Pennsylvania, they still had hours to go, but the trip would never make it to New York. As they approached the Gray Hill Road overpass, something suddenly smashed through the windshield. It sounded like an explosion. In the darkness, they couldn't tell what had happened. Kaylee pulled over and switched on the interior light. What they saw would change their lives forever. A boulder the size of a volleyball had torn through the glass and struck Sharon directly in the head.
Oh my gosh, something came right through the windshield. Hi, I'm on the highway, Route 80. Something just came through my windshield and it hit my wife and I think it went right through her head. Oh my God. Can you please can you get an ambulance somewhere? Can you track this phone?
Where on Interstate 80 are you?
Oh my God. She is grasping for her life.
Okay, what is your name, sir?
My name's Randy Budd.
The phone number you're calling.
Oh my God, half her brain's gone. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Randy immediately dialed 911. Sharon was rushed to the hospital, where she underwent a series of emergency surgeries. The impact caused her brain to swell so severely that doctors were forced to remove a large portion of her skull. Randy and Kaylee were told to call their loved ones, because Sharon likely wouldn't survive the night. But Sharon was a fighter, a cancer survivor. Once before, she defied the odds and pulled through. Still, her survival came at a devastating cost. A large section of her brain and parts of her face had to be removed. She lost sight in one eye, and the missing portion of her skull was replaced with medical-grade plastic. Sharon was left severely disabled, requiring 24-hour care and years of rehabilitation just to relearn how to speak and walk. The question remained, how had a rock ended up smashing into their car? The answer was chilling. This was no accident. On the overpass above, 4 teenagers had been vandalizing the area, smashing windows with a baseball bat. One of them, Dylan L., decided to take it further. He dropped the boulder onto the next car he saw, and it struck Sharon. Dylan and his friends were soon caught and charged. Dylan received the longest sentence, 4.5 years, before being released on parole in 2019. Tyler Porter and Brett Law, Dylan's brother, each served less than 2 years. Key McGee served under 1 year and was paroled in 2015.
What keeps you strong? What keeps you so happy inside?
This guy, he takes good care of me.
Despite the unimaginable pain she endured, Sharon amazed everyone with her determination and positivity, making a stunning recovery against all odds.
We strongly believe from the get-go that if there's protective fencing up on that highway, I probably wouldn't be sitting down here talking with you today.
Randy stood by her every step of the way, supporting her through the hardest moments and fighting for change. Working with State Senator Gene Yaw, he pushed for legislation requiring fences to be built on overpasses to prevent tragedies like this. In his home state of Ohio, he succeeded.
It's done. We won. We got it done.
He then pushed for the same in Pennsylvania. But while he fought for others, Randy was battling a private pain of his own. On August 6, 2016, Randy made a heartbreaking decision. Feeling crushed by guilt over what Sharon had endured, he took his own life. Less than 3 hours before, he had texted Senator Yaw one final message: "Please get the fence issue settled." Even in his last moments, he was thinking about protecting others. Today, Randy's ashes remain with Sharon, who now lives in an assisted care facility. Despite her disabilities, despite her losses, Sharon is remembered as a kind, positive, and caring person. Her resilience a testament to the strength of the human spirit in the face of tragedy. Stories like Sharon and Randy Budd's remind us how quickly lives can be shattered in ways no one could ever prepare for. But tragedy doesn't always come from a deliberate act of violence. Sometimes it strikes suddenly, in the most unexpected places, leaving ordinary people to face extraordinary danger. And in the next story, that danger came from the middle of open water. This child was in a desperate situation, floating alone in open water, in what can only be described as a miraculous rescue.
I know, just calm down,
A man was fishing in the middle of a river in Duluth, Minnesota, when he spotted something he never expected to see out there.
Are you gonna be able to make it in the shore? You need some help? Okay.
Can you help me with my dad?
Well, your dad's back there, but I'm gonna bring you in the shore, okay? I know, just calm down,
I get to my dad.
Calm down, just hold my hand.
My dad.
Alright, so, no, you can't pull right now. Just hold on a second.
I need to get to my dad.
Okay, but I'm gonna bring you over to land, okay? Just calm down, you're on my boat. You don't have to worry about the current taking you out.
He knew the most important thing was to get the boy to safety. Reuniting him with his family could wait. But there was a pressing problem. If the boy tried to pull himself into the boat, the weight would tip one side under the water, flooding it and likely sinking them both. They needed to figure out how to get the boy back to shore without capsizing, and fast. The fisherman believed he had a solution, but it wouldn't be easy for either of them.
I figured out a way to get you up and out without bringing all the water in, okay? So I think if you can hold on like that, can you do that for me? Can I get you to shore?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really need it.
And then you'll be able to land on the dock, okay? Can you do that for me?
Yes.
You're strong, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I just need to be strong for a few more seconds. All right? So I'm gonna try not to hit you. So I'm just gonna back us up.
And what's this?
Oh, that's my minnow bucket. There's fathead minnows in there, okay?
Oh, my dad's saying.
Yep, your dad's not gone. He's just on the other side of that grass over there, okay?
And I've been screaming it for a long time.
I know, yep.
And he was not listening.
I know.
It appeared the boy had been trying to warn his father that he was in danger, but his father either didn't hear him or wasn't listening. At this point, it was hard not to say whether it was even safe to return him. For now, though, the fisherman's only concern was keeping the boy calm and alive.
All right, so I'm just trying to do this, okay? Can you hold on, keep holding on like that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. How old are you?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? Are you that old? Are you like 101? 102?
I'm young, but I grow up fast.
Yeah, you know, kids do grow up fast, because I have a kid. You wanna know how old my son is? He is 6.
And you just told me how old I'm 6.
Oh, you're 6?
And I look like I'm 7.
Oh, wow, that's good. That must mean you must eat all your fruit and vegetables. So what we're gonna do is we're almost there, okay?
Yeah.
We're making waves. Are you cold?
Yeah.
All right, so once we get up there, all you'd have to do is get on land and you can wait for your dad, okay? I don't know if there's any towels or anything. How long have you been in the water?
Longer?
A long time? Okay.
I thought you were dad because you were coming in.
No, I just didn't, I thought he was coming to get you, but he didn't come. Yeah, I know you did. I heard you screaming, so that's why I came over here.
Even more concerning, it seemed the boy's father knew he had fallen in and still made no attempt to save him. That alone suggested something was very wrong. Fortunately, the fisherman was close to getting the boy to shore, where he would soon meet the father and find out exactly what that problem might be.
Yeah, are you still really, really cold?
Yeah, I need colder.
Yeah, okay. Can you make it up? Hold on. Good job. Yeah, hold on. Let me get this off.
Where was he?
I think he got blown away over there. Come on, let's see if we can find somebody to get you a napkin.
This incident highlights the importance of children wearing life jackets. Without him, this ordeal could have ended in tragedy. But being out of the water didn't mean the boy was safe. River water can be freezing, and prolonged exposure can lead from chills to hypothermia. It was vital to dry him off and warm him quickly.
Hi, do you have any towels on him? His dad left him stranded out in the middle of the river. And he's,
follow me, sir.
and yeah, and he's saying he's feeling cold. I was just somebody that was fishing, but I want to make sure that he's fine. Then we're going to call 911.
911?
Yeah, we got to make sure you're doing okay so you don't have hypothermia or something like that sitting there.
Don't do 911.
Why? Why don't you want to call 911? Are you scared?
Yes, I don't want to.
It's okay. We just got to get you on and make sure you're getting checked out.
No.
All right.
I don't want 911. Please, no.
Do you still feel really, really cold?
Yes.
Okay, come on over here, bud.
Yep, so he's got you a towel.
It's going right there.
Where was he in the?
Yeah, he was in the bay. When I came up fishing, his dad was right next to him,
Yeah.
maybe 30, 40 yards west or east of the ramp there. And the current just swept him all the way out here.
Oh.
And his dad
There's
was,
actually 2 people drowned here in that same spot last year.
well, it was just one of those things where I thought his dad was coming because his dad has the sailboat right there and he's still not coming. So hasn't came in and checked in on him. So
Okay, just pull this up over your head now.
yeah, we just got to make sure we get you warm and that you're going to be okay because we don't.
I don't want 911.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, hey, we're gonna get you all fixed up here, Jack.
Because I don't know how long he had been out there in the water prior to me showing up either. So I just want to make sure he doesn't have hypothermia or anything like that that's going to set in.
Despite the boy's reluctance to call 911, the adults knew it was the right thing to do. Towels could only do so much. Emergency crews could ensure he wasn't suffering from hypothermia or other complications. Around the time help arrived, his father appeared, and his reaction was far from what anyone expected.
David, very pleased to meet you.
Yep.
Sounds like he was a bit nervous.
Well, he was screaming, and it was like I looked back to see where you were at, and you were a couple hundred yards away. And then I was happy I did come here because they were here, how the boat was able to come and get you.
Yes.
But yeah.
No, I'm very thankful of that.
Me too.
First I say 1,000 and then thank yous.
Yep.
That saved me a bunch of hassle.
Yep.
Because the river takes him a little bit. And I say,
Yeah.
calm down, slowly swim to shore.
Yep.
You got this. We've been in this before. I tried to get him with the boat, and of course the wind's picking up.
Yep.
So it just poof, right across the river.
Yep.
So I had to try and walk it back. That is super slow.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Yep.
I would chat longer, but I think I'm needed.
Yep.
But once again, thank you. And we might be seeing each other again.
To put it mildly, something felt off about his demeanor. He was unusually flippant, even jovial about the whole ordeal, saying it would have been a hassle to rescue his own son. His words came across as deeply insensitive, and frankly, he seemed like he may have been drinking. Regardless, the boy was checked over by EMS and, in the end, returned to his family. One can only hope this is a lesson that prevents anything like this from ever happening again. While one child's life was spared by the quick actions of a stranger, countless others are not as fortunate. In some parts of the world, danger doesn't come from a momentary accident. It is constant, unrelenting, and woven into daily survival. And nowhere is that more painfully clear than in Gaza, where every day is a struggle to stay alive. Gaza nowadays is a place where silence echoes beneath shattered skies. Families huddle in the ruins of homes that once held laughter. 2 million people live in exile within their own land, starved of the simplest necessities as famine tightens its grip. Already, more than 240 people, including over 100 children, have died of starvation. Clean water is a luxury long lost. In crowded displacement camps, desperate families survive on murky, contaminated water, rationed and unsafe. Many drink from the sea or from stagnant puddles just to keep their throats from burning. Their bodies pay the price with waves of sickness, especially among the young. Bombs still fall, and this security camera footage captured, with haunting clarity, the reality of how people are forced to live there. In a single day, nearly 90 lives are taken, and not only by bombs. It is a devastating existence, trying to survive each day in a war zone that offers no safe place, no pause, and no mercy. Disease claims the weak in overcrowded shelters. Starvation creeps through homes where there is nothing left to eat. Thirst takes those who drink contaminated water because there is no other choice. Even as people queue for bread, death finds them. Aid arrives too late, too little, and too unevenly. People collapse in line, waiting for supplies that may never come. These are not just news reports. They are children going to bed hungry, mothers watching their families fade, entire neighborhoods trapped in hunger and fear. Gaza is not just suffering, it is dying. And now, what you are about to see is not simply footage. It is the endurance of a people hanging on by whispers of dignity, beneath a sky that has forgotten mercy. From the devastation of an entire community fighting to survive under constant siege, to the quiet streets of an English town where violence struck without warning, the scale may be different, but the heartbreak is the same. Because whether it's a city under bombardment or a father protecting his son, the fragility of life is laid bare in an instant. On the evening of April 18, 2023, the streets of Castle Bromwich, Birmingham, carried the usual hum of traffic and the glow of shopfront lights. For 50-year-old Kelvin Ward, it was a night like any other, just a stop at a KFC with his teenage son. They couldn't have known that a stolen Ford Kuga was already prowling nearby, carrying 4 men armed with machetes and so-called zombie knives, looking for blood. Their target was not Kelvin, it was his son. The attack began with speed and violence. The Ford Kuga, on false plates, roared forward and slammed into Kelvin's Vauxhall Corsa, airbags bursting, metal twisting. In seconds, the quiet of the evening dissolved into chaos. The gang piled out, shouting threats, words caught later on CCTV audio, ordering each other to kill. Kelvin's son bolted, sprinting into the street. By sheer luck, a stranger offered him an e-bike, and he pedaled away into the darkness, with the gang still chasing. But Kelvin didn't run. A father's instinct took over. He leapt into the attacker's vehicle, driving after the direction his son had fled. He didn't get far. The car veered and smashed into roadside railings, trapping him. What happened next was both brutal and unforgivable. The gang closed in, their blades gleaming under the streetlights. Kelvin tried to get away, crossing Chester Road in a desperate attempt to reach safety. He was unarmed, outnumbered, and fully aware of what was coming. The first blow struck deep, one stab straight to the chest, delivered with cold precision. More followed, hacking and slashing until Kelvin collapsed. Witnesses could only watch as a father's final moments played out in the open, his life ending where he had stood between his son and certain death. The gang fled, leaving Kelvin dying in the road. Emergency services arrived, but there was nothing they could do. Later, detectives would pore over CCTV footage, mobile phone records, DNA traces, and eyewitness accounts. Piece by piece, they built the timeline. Every movement, every strike, every face. The evidence told a story of premeditation, of conspiracy, of pure, targeted violence. At Coventry Crown Court, the truth came to light. Tyrone Hollywood, just 17, and Rusharn Williams Reed, 28, were found guilty of murder. Aaron Coates, 28, was convicted of manslaughter, while Leighton Williams, 18, was cleared of murder and manslaughter, but found guilty of conspiring to kill Kelvin's son. All four were found guilty of that conspiracy, a plot that began long before that night on Chester Road. Justice was served in the cold language of sentencing, with prison terms measured out in decades. But for those who knew Kelvin, no number of years could measure what was lost. The CCTV footage remains, a silent, unflinching witness to a father's last act of love. Kelvin Ward died protecting his child. In those final moments, he was more than a victim of senseless violence. He was a shield, a protector, and a reminder of just how far a parent will go when their child's life is on the line. The murder of Kelvin Ward was a brutal reminder of how quickly violence can erupt in the middle of an ordinary evening, tearing families apart in seconds. But across the ocean, in a quiet American town, another tragedy would unfold, not with knives in the street, but during what should have been a routine traffic stop. And once again, in the span of a single moment, everything changed. On a quiet summer evening in June of 2021, in the small and usually uneventful community of Holly Springs, Georgia, just 35 miles north of Atlanta, where daily life rarely strays far from routine, an ordinary traffic stop turned into a tragedy no one could have foreseen.
Yes, sir. What's in your pockets?
2317, 715, unit 4.
Let me see what's in your hand there.
Code 4, you're running in different.
Two officers were on duty that night. Sergeant Andrew Drake, a steady and experienced presence in the department, and Officer Joe Burson, only 25 years old, still early in his law enforcement career, but already known for his discipline and calm approach. Sergeant Drake initiated the stop after clocking a car at 72 miles per hour in a 40 zone, blowing past the intersection at Harmony Lake Drive. It should have been simple, a citation, maybe a warning, and nothing more. But the man behind the wheel was not just another motorist. His name was Annie Dolce, 29 years old, and his history was long and violent. A confirmed member of the Money Murder Gang, a faction of the Bloods, Dolce was on parole for robbery in New York and facing an open domestic violence case in Illinois. He had cut off his GPS monitor nearly 2 years earlier and disappeared off the grid. In fact, U.S. Marshals had been tracking him for weeks, even conducting surveillance near his mother's home in Waleska, Georgia, just days earlier. During the stop, Dolce gave the officers a false name, his brother's, and failed to provide a license. The strong odor of marijuana drifted from inside the car, and in plain sight, the officers noticed baggies marked with the substance and a canister of leafy green material. It was clear he was hiding something. Dolce exited the car, insisting he needed to call his mother or an attorney, requests Officer Burson calmly denied. When Sergeant Drake moved to place him under arrest, the situation exploded.
How come you have a fleet tag over the registration sticker?
You advised 73 of 93, 73 of 93.
Who'd you rent it from? Hertz.
723, 93.
Don't call my mom. Sorry? Can you call my mom, please? Not right now. If you're being honest with us, should get you out of here shortly. After we're done this.
Cherokee to 716, code 4.
Not at the moment, no. Why do you need a lawyer if what you're telling us is true?
Because you guys are about to arrest me.
Why?
2318.
Sorry?
I know the drill. You said you smell pot, so we're going to search the car. So you're going to arrest me and detain me.
Is there pot in there? How much? No. Just, no. Stop. Go back.
I'm sorry. I was going to the car.
Stay on the ground! Come down. Hands by your back! Hands by your back! Get the car! Hands by your back! Hands by your back!
6 feet or 10 feet.
Get out!
In the struggle that followed, shots rang out. Officer Joe Burson was struck and mortally wounded. Despite being rushed to the hospital, he was later pronounced dead. Dolce, hit by multiple rounds, also died shortly afterward at a nearby medical facility. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation later released a 251-page report concluding that Burson's use of deadly force was justified under state law. The district attorney added that, had Dolce survived, he would have faced felony murder, aggravated assault, obstruction, and numerous other charges. There were no official reparations issued by the city. But the people of Holly Springs came together, raising nearly $90,000 through a community campaign to support Officer Burson's grieving family. In the end, a traffic stop that should have ended with nothing more than paperwork and a signature instead ended in bloodshed. Officer Joe Burson, who had arrived simply as backup, never made it home. And Dolce, who had spent years evading the justice system, chose flight over surrender, sealing both of their fates in less than 60 seconds. For Sergeant Drake, the memory has never faded. In a quiet moment afterward, he admitted that Joe Burson had saved his life, and that not a day passes without the weight of that truth. Because sometimes, all it takes is one stop, one decision, and 1 second for everything to fall apart. The streets of Holly Springs showed how a single encounter could spiral into deadly chaos in less than a minute. But sometimes, tragedy doesn't come from violence at all. It comes from negligence, from corners cut in the name of speed, and from safety protocols ignored until it's too late. And in Jacksonville, Florida, that negligence would claim a life on a man's very first day of work. This is the Bacardi bottling plant in Jacksonville, Florida. It's August 16, 2012 at 4:30 p.m. The machine you see here is called a palletizer. Its job is to stack and wrap cases of rum onto pallets for shipping. The man operating it has been cleaning the machinery, a task that's become all too common. When bottles break inside the cases, rum leaks onto the conveyor belt, making it sticky. Cases then jam, collide, and bottles crash to the floor. It had been happening for years at Bacardi, and nothing had been done to fix it. Moments later, the operator steps away. More cases speed down the line, colliding violently. He hits the emergency stop button. Under safety protocol, the machine should now be locked out, preventing anyone from restarting it while a worker is inside. There's also a second stop button and metal support bars that can be placed under the platform to prevent it from dropping. But employees rarely used them. Production speed mattered more. The man in the orange vest is Lawrence D. Davis, a temp worker. This is his first day, not just at Bacardi, but at any job in his life. His shift began an hour and a half earlier. At one point, he took a photo and sent it to his fiancée. The operator pointed to the broken glass under the palletizer and told Davis to sweep it up. Watch the lower right corner of the footage. You can see Davis step beneath the machine to start cleaning. After a few minutes, Davis returned upstairs and asked a question. The supervisor would later tell police he told Davis to wait at the side, but other witnesses heard something different. They say he told Davis to simply get some gloves. Davis went back down. The supervisor and operator continued cleaning the conveyor rollers above him. Then they closed the gate and restarted the machine. The cases moved into position. The platform lowered. A sudden yell cut through the noise. Davis had been crushed beneath it. The operator slammed the stop button and tried to manually raise the platform, but it wouldn't budge. The supervisor radioed for help while someone grabbed a pry bar, desperately trying to lift it. On top of the platform sat 60 cases, around 2,000 pounds in total. First responders arrived within minutes, but the damage was already done. The sheer weight of the machinery had killed Davis instantly. His first day on the job had also been his last. For Lawrence Davis, tragedy came on his very first day at work, caught beneath a machine in a factory that valued speed over safety. But sometimes, tragedy doesn't come from neglect or machinery. Sometimes, it comes from the very risks a person embraces, from a life lived on the edge. And no one embodied that more than the Norwegian YouTuber Tor Eckhoff, better known to millions as Apator. A YouTuber whose daring and eccentric videos captured the world's attention. He rose to fame by pushing the limits of what most people would even consider trying, skating across thin sheets of ice, diving into frozen lakes shirtless, and rolling half-naked in the snow while temperatures plunged far below zero. On his journey toward 1 million subscribers, Peter developed a style that was completely his own. His videos often featured him drinking entire bottles of vodka, goofing around in the snow, and sometimes doing the absurd, like drinking engine oil purely for shock value. His channel description revealed a few simple truths. He was born in 1964, lived in Norway, and worked in a paint factory. And he confirmed that the vodka in his videos was always real, though never intended as an advertisement. Audiences fell in love with his quirky personality and fearless stunts. By the end of his career, he had built a devoted following of more than 1.3 million subscribers who tuned in regularly to see what unpredictable thing he would do next. But tragedy struck on November 27, 2021, just days after his 57th birthday. In his final upload, titled, "I Am Not Dead, I'm 57 Today," Apator celebrated with his trademark humor. Soon after, while filming himself ice skating on a frozen lake near Kongsberg, disaster struck. The ice gave way beneath him. Tor managed to pull himself up, but each time he tried to climb out, the fragile edges collapsed, breaking under his weight and trapping him in the freezing water. Before skating that day, he had texted the person he lived with to reassure them that everything was fine, that he was excited to capture new footage. But beneath the ice, time ran out. Divers eventually recovered him, and he was airlifted to a nearby hospital. Doctors tried desperately to save him, but the cold had already taken too much. Apator was gone. In the days that followed, thousands of loyal fans filled his final video with messages of grief and remembrance. Even years later, his channel continues to draw viewers, new fans discovering him for the first time, and old fans returning to relive the bizarre, joyful, and fearless world he created. To this day, Tor Eckhoff remains a legend on YouTube, a man who lived life differently, who embraced danger with laughter, and who wasn't afraid to share every ridiculous, icy adventure with the world. His legacy is proof that sometimes the strangest, boldest spirits leave behind the deepest mark. Tor Eckhoff's story showed how living life on the edge can be both inspiring and unforgiving. But he wasn't the only YouTuber who chased danger in search of extraordinary footage. Across the ocean, in the waters of Cornwall, another fearless creator would dive into whirlpools and waves, only to discover that the same passion that made him unforgettable would also cost him his life. Giver Beach is a stretch of white sand just north of Sennen Cove in West Cornwall, England. Reached only by winding roads and hidden behind rolling dunes, it's the kind of place many people pass without ever knowing it's there. But for a young YouTuber named Jacob Cockle, this beach was home. In 2011, Jacob launched his channel Whirlpool Hitman, where he uploaded daring footage of himself swimming in whirlpools, cliff jumping, surfing extreme waves, and exploring caves. Over time, his stunts gained him recognition in major surf magazines and even earned him prizes from the Sunday Times and National Geographic. His channel grew to more than 150,000 subscribers, captivated by his fearless pursuit of adventure. Some of Jacob's videos showed him tossing objects into powerful whirlpools, filming as the currents pulled them under. But more often, he entered the vortex himself, knowing full well how dangerous it was. The swirling water could drag a person beneath the surface in seconds. Still, he thrived on the edge, chasing the kind of adrenaline others only read about. On May 28, 2013, the infamous whirlpool in the Hale Estuary resurfaced, as it did a few times each year. Determined to capture new footage, Jacob rushed to the home of his friend, artist David Rain, asking him to film the adventure. David had joined him before and saw his excitement, so he agreed. As always, Jacob brought along a quirky prop to make the video stand out, this time a rubber horse mask. For nearly half an hour, Jacob let the current spin him in circles at the edge of the vortex, smiling as he compared it to surfing, telling David it was all about learning to flow with the water. After 25 minutes, David suggested they had enough footage and encouraged him to climb out.
I reckon you got enough there.
Riding the current of it with your body.
Are you?
Yeah, it's really similar to surfing. Just flowing with it. That's pretty scary.
You got enough?
I should really make the most of it. I don't know what else to do.
Instead of leaving the water, Jacob asked for his stick-mounted GoPro, determined to get one final shot beneath the surface. Moments later, he dived down into the whirlpool. Seconds passed, then longer. David called his name. No response. Panic set in. Racing to the far end of the quay, he saw Jacob floating face down. In that instant, he knew it was too late. Jacob Cockle was gone. He was just 28 years old. Months later, his final footage was uploaded to YouTube with a haunting caption at the end. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. His funeral drew far more mourners than the church could hold, as friends and strangers alike gathered to remember him, not as a reckless thrill-seeker, but as a fearless adventurer who lived life without hesitation. 1 year after his death, the harbor was renovated. The whirlpool that had both fascinated Jacob and claimed his life disappeared forever, leaving behind only his legacy, his videos, and the memory of a man who lived life on the edge until the very end. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.